being here. As you probably know, I'm Martha Sansever with the project manager in the Lorton Community Center with the building design branch with the Department of Public Works, along with Claudia Chalou, who's also the project manager on the library, and we've been working together on this project. There's others on the Fairfax team. I was going to let Christine introduce herself first. Nobody else from your office is here, Christine, right? So.
No, I don't see anyone. I'm Christine Morin, Supervisor Stork's Chief of Staff and Lorton resident, and we are very excited about this project coming to fruition very soon.
I think we all are actually, which is nice. Then we can do the rest of the Fairfax. Claudia, Karen.
Yep, Claudia Chalou, project manager with the building design branch, and Karen.
I'm Karen Davis. I'm with the building construction branch.
And we can just go around, put up my picture here, my screen. So Latishma.
I am Latishma Walters, and I am the regional manager with Neighborhood and Community Services.
And then Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Osborne. I'm the Deputy Director of the Fairfax County Library.
Okay, and then Rhonda.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rhonda Reams with Neighborhood and Community Services, Senior Facilities Coordinator.
Okay, and then we have Peter.
Yep, board member LCAC, and I'm the point person for the LCAC for this project.
Then we got David Whale, who's the architect. David, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, David Whale. I'm the project manager with Grimm and Parker Architects.
Okay, and on the line we also have Martin Ritzer with. You want to introduce yourself, Martin?
Yeah. Martin Reiser, former land use chair for the South County Federation, and I was on the task force for the community center and library with Peter.
Okay, great. Well, again, thank you for being here. Well, obviously the meeting is to provide an update to the Lorton Community Center and the Lorton Library project. Claudia, why don't we go ahead and share this presentation?
Okay.
Okay, the first slide. We can go.
Can everyone see?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the next slide, the agenda. First, we'll review the agenda. We'll go over the current status and schedule of the project and construction. We'll look at some construction photos, first of the site area, the building exterior, and some interior views of the building. Then we'll NCS and library will go over their programs and services to be offered. And then any questions or comments at the end. Next slide. The current status, the project's divided into 3 phases. We have phase 1A, 1B, and then phase 2. Phase 1A was completed in last November of 21. And that was a partial completion of the park and the field, so that the residents could use the park area during the construction and also the path. Phase 1B construction, which is currently underway, is a substantial completion of the building. We anticipate this summer of 22, which is this summer. That's the completion of the community center and the library and the partial parking area. There's an area on the right-hand side that will be completed with the phase 2. Phase 2 now then will be when LCAC moves into the building. It will be the demolition of the Murphy House, along with completion of the park. The rest of the park, the path, the grass, will complete the lights that are up there, and then also the parking. Then the grand opening is anticipated for September of 2022. Next slide. We'll start with the exterior of the park, some of the views as of Friday. First, I have the partial rendering there of the park, of the site plan really. The bottom area shows is where the building is, and then the connection from the building to the park is a sidewalk area, which you'll see that on the right. I'm standing there from the building looking down towards the park with bioretention areas on your left and right. So there'll be a lot of greenery, which then connects the building to the park. And then the lower area is getting closer to the park and the view of, again, the field and the trees. And then you can barely see it, but there's mulch areas there where the future playground and fitness areas will be. Next elevation. This is now of the park, a closer look at the park. Again, the left-hand side shows a rendering of the playground that we're providing for the project. On the right-hand side is standing like in the concrete area looking towards the Murphy House. And again, that whole mulch area there on your right is where the adult fitness area will be. The lower picture is from that sidewalk that I mentioned earlier towards the very end, again, looking towards the park. And the children's area will be to the left, and the fitness area for the adults will be on the right with that circular picnic area. And then, of course, the path will go around all that and connect to the rest of the path around the field. Next slide, please. Now we have the exterior elevation of the building. The top is the rendering that we've showed several presentations already now. And then the bottom is the same view as it currently was on Friday. Now, again, it was a busy day for the contractor, so there's a lot of equipment and vehicles out there. But you can see the building's taking the shape. The lobby entrance area, the shared lobby is there. You can see the sloped roof also of the gym and towards the back. So it's it's really taking shape and looking very attractive and nice. Next slide. Again, this is an elevation from Route 1. The top is a rendering that's been presented in previous presentations. And then the slide right below is the current, again, as a Friday elevation. The trees are bloomed, and you can see the gym towards the back there to the left, sloped area there, sloped roof. On the right is the glass area, corner area for the children's area, which will have a lot of light and will be very open and light, a lot of light. The bottom picture is a curved area of the original library area, which it's where the NCS offices are going to be, but it's just a closer view of that curved area that you can see that the top rendering also shows it. And then the bottom right is a picture of the NCS's offices that's as you go up the driveway, just as you hit the corner of the building there. It's again a lot of glass area for the NCS, for the library office areas. Next slide, please. So now we're entering the building. We're entering the shared lobby on the left-hand side there. Again, this is a picture as of Friday. There's again a lot of activity. You can see a lot of the wood finishes and look there. On the shared lobby, the entrance to the community center will be on your right, and the library will be to your left. Straight ahead, you see the windows in the area of the large community meeting room, that library community meeting room for large meetings after hours. On the right-hand side, as you enter the community center, is the corridor looking down. The area there towards the front is where the information desk will be. The area there, right there to your left is where the NCS's offices are, the entrance to that. And on the right is the senior center area. You can see some green there. That's the colors inside the senior center area. And you can see the corridor is very light and airy. Lights are being installed. And then the top is the gym. Again, as of Friday, you can see the wood flooring has been installed. And in the background, you can see the scoreboard. A lot of light coming into the gym. It's looking really, really nice. Next slide. Now, as you go further down the corridor, the youth multipurpose room is there on your left. Again, towards what will be also the gaming area, and then eventually the sensory room. The picture also beyond that will be the art room, which is a picture below that. Again, we have the playful ceilings. And then again, it's a corner windows with a lot of light for artwork, the art studio. And there will be a kiln there in the corner. Next slide. Now we're going back outside to the shared lobby and entering the library. Again, the upper right, left-hand corner is a rendering that you've seen before of the library. And on the right and below are the current pictures as of Friday, again, under construction. A lot of equipment there. You can see the orange areas that highlight the individual study areas where the scalloped areas of the original library are located. And then the area below would be the main reading area that, again, has currently been very busy with a lot of construction materials there and equipment. The next slide. Now we're going towards the back left-hand side of the library where the children's area is. On the left-hand side, you see the rendering again of the playful children's area. And then on the right, today under construction, well, not today, it was Friday's picture of these, again, the very playful, fun ceiling for the children's area. You can also see the corner windows and the amount of light that will be there. Again, it'll be a very playful area, very airy, a very nice area for the kids. The picture below is again still in the main reading area, going in a little bit closer to obviously the individual study areas, and then you can see the children's, the green area, the children's in the background, and then of course the ceilings and the lights, and again very airy. And again a lot of construction equipment and materials were there that day. Next picture. Next. Okay, now we turn it over to Neighborhood and Community Services and the libraries to tell you a little bit more about their programs and services that are anticipated. Letitia?
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Thank you, Martha. So Martin, I know other folks on the call are familiar with the facility, but I wanted to bring attention to what our programs are and just about Lorton Community Center, our senior center, and just really talk about those programs, but really highlight the intentionality of the services and what we offer. So first I'll talk about, as you know, our core programs. We have after school programs. We do with the community center, we'll be able to offer facility rentals. We're going to have fitness classes. There's going to be basketball, volleyball, pickleball, different types of sports. There's going to be spaces for groups and organizations. We offer camps, and then we offer technology and computer programs. But I really wanted to talk a little bit more in depth about our senior centers and really what are the programs that we offer within a senior center. So as we know, the senior centers provide supportive services for seniors 50 plus. It focuses on social inclusion, which enables seniors to engage in activities. What I'm not sure that a lot of people understand is that within our senior centers, we offer congregate meals. We provide transportation services for folks that can't get to the centers on time, can't get to the centers on time. And then we also look at, providing therapeutic services, which enable seniors with minor cognitive and physical disabilities to actively participate in our day-to-day programs. So we have inclusion services for older adults, and I just mentioned that it provides enable seniors who have cognitive and physical disabilities. We have a contract with Service Source, who's a local nonprofit that provide extensive support. The support they provide are in terms of two functions, right? We look at recreational therapists. We have recreational therapists who design and implement adaptations and modifications to support any members' participation in day-to-day activities. But then we also offer case management, which provides guidance and provide referrals to individuals and families to determine what type of appropriate programs. This does several things. It allows us to provide wide range programming, for opportunities for least restrictive environment and reduce loneliness and isolation. The services in our senior centers, we do games, we do Zumba, we do different activities, but it's really designed to be preventative and provide intervention really to meet social, physical, and emotional and intellectual needs of older adults. As part of that as well, we also, if we can flip to the next page, so I wanted to talk the senior center. If you could go to the next page, thank you. And I talked about some of our recreation how recreation services are included. But then for our senior centers and our youth programs, so it says we talk about Lorton Teen Center and our youth programs. Our youth programs, if you're familiar with teen centers, we offer a variety of things. Teens are gonna be able to use the gym, the computer lab. We have a craft room and a kitchen. They're gonna be mentored by role models, but really looking at how we look at our out of school time programming. There are several things. We want to be able to provide a creative and safe learning environment, but really our out of school time really looks at how do we ensure that we have a framework that supports young people doing the best, strong positive relationships, developmental relationships. We really look at 5 elements in our programs: express care, challenge and growth, providing support, sharing power, expanding opportunities. So it's more than just teens coming in the building and being able to utilize um, the gym, or the multi-purpose room or the gaming area. Is really how do we look at our service delivery and understanding how do we meet people how do we meet teens and youth across the continuum. We follow the Kids at Hope philosophy, which is practiced by not just staff, but everyone within our programs, ensuring that our kids are capable of success. We also have implemented restorative justice practices. So ensuring that our staff is looking at harm and wrongdoing, making sure we're victim-centered, but how do we use that as a process facilitated by trained staff that bring kids together? How do we support social and emotional, how do we create a social emotional learning? That's really part of what we do in our collaboration. So again, all our programs, youth programs, teen programs, even with seniors, how do we look at how we're looking at applying knowledge, skills, managing emotions, achieving personal and collective goals, supporting the schools on PBIS. We have this evidence-based 3-tiered framework that we have within our system. So it's more than just, and what we tell folks is when we come into the community center, to our community center, you have senior programs, but we're providing wraparound services, our youth programs, we have our core programs, out of school time. So defining out of school time is when SAC, who is going to run our before and after school programs, when SACU is going to run a before and after school programs. We're also looking at when there's teacher work days, there's going to be programs for teacher work days, spring and summer, spring camp, summer camp, winter camp. How do we looking at these times? And for all ages across the continuum. So we're going to start from SAC is going to do the first graders to 6th graders, but then during out of school time, how do we support our teenagers all the way to 18 years old? We also look at in our tech center. We are looking at how do we for programming. So we're going to have a tech center, but some intentionality around our programming, instructional progress. So there's going to be opportunities within our community center, within the tech center, from having classes for anyone across the continuum. And when I say across the continuum, I'm talking from elementary age all the way to older adults. There's internet usage, simple internet usage, training on social media, graphic design. We're going to have 3D printers. Some of our tech centers are part of a global network, which has which started back in the computer museum back in 1993. We have 100 clubhouses across, and they're able to provide opportunities to really look at how do we prepare kids for the tech talent pipeline, but then also how do we provide opportunities to earn, upskill, or reskill folks that come into our facilities. So programs would be wide ranging. along with core programs, there's also opportunities that we're going to use to engage the community. And what are some of the other things that we would like to see within what kind of other programs? There's going to be opportunities to provide feedback on what are some of the classes that would like to see. So we'll start with our core programming. Of course, the facility will be open, but we'll definitely offer the services providing engaging curriculum. We'll also look at, again, social and emotional learning, but really understanding that it's not just about coming into a facility and, using recreation. Recreation is truly just the vehicle, but what are some of the nuggets of learning we're implementing when we look at, preparing kids for career to work, for college to career? What are some of the things that we're doing around social emotional learning? How are we collaborating with the schools around PBIS and restorative justice practices? So I really wanted to give a highlight on those and the intentionality of the programs that we have, because I know folks are familiar with like our senior centers, but really those are the vehicles. What are some of the things we're doing intentionally to provide for our residents? As I said, SAC is going to be there. They're going to be providing childcare. They have a sliding fee scale, and they're going to be working on, providing that aid for the before and after school for the local, for the area schools. So I think that's all I have. I think that's my slide and highlighting. And I'm sorry, I know that Martin, do you have any other question? You have any questions for me about the programming, or Christine?
Can you, Letishma, talk a little bit about how, so Lorton Community Action Center hosts after-school programs, they feed kids, they do financial awareness programs, NCS does those. The library has different reading programs. So how are you planning to coordinate all of these wonderful activities?
So I see Peter. Peter, you want to say something before?
Well, it's a great question, Christine, and I don't know if we have an answer other than trying to coordinate once we're in the building, which obviously are months away. So at this point, it's just going to be working with NCS in whatever capacity we can to support one another.
Yeah, and I will also offer up, one of the things we're working on, Christine, is with the different programmings, we have created 3 different groups, subgroups, right? We're really looking at we have a programming subgroup. We also have a operations subgroup. We also have a community outreach and marketing subgroup. So members of each agency are working collaboratively to ensure there's not a duplication of services. So we meet to ensure there's not a duplication of services. And how do we leverage each other's agencies for certain things? For example, I'll give an example. If there's an ESOL class offered in the library in the morning for folks who can make it in the morning, we're working with our calendars to say, okay, maybe NCS offer it in the evening if we have that capacity. So we're truly looking at how do we create synergy, and we provide opportunities to ensure that we're reaching the entire population, those who work in the morning and those who work at night and they come to the center in the morning. So we've created, and we're meeting presently to look at how our operations work, where there's opportunities for synergy, where we don't want to duplicate services, and what opportunities there are for leveraging different resources. If there's one thing that they're doing well, or how do we complement it? If there's something going on in a library, with, like story time, can we provide programming in a computer clubhouse for parents to learn a skill or upskill? So that's some of the stuff that we're working on now. But we do have core programs, but we're meeting. I think we met last week. One of the groups met last week, and each group are meeting weekly. So that's some of the things that we're doing to ensure that we don't duplicate services, and we're providing a variety of activities to support the community during different times.
Okay.
Christine, I'm sorry. I'm trying to see your face on camera.
Oh, sorry. My computer, it's slow, so it's
Yeah.
not, when I click on it, it takes a minute. So, so who's the master scheduler? Who's responsible for, like, when if I'm a citizen and I'm coming in and I want to know what's going on for the week? How, do you know how that will work yet? How will I know what's happening?
No, that's exactly what we're doing, because that's some of the stuff we're talking about in our group as well. How do we ensure that when someone walks in the building, regardless of which side of the building, the facility we're on, that we all are aware of each other's programs? So that's the stuff we're working on.
That's great, because I know one of the challenges for, LCAC sometimes is childcare. So having everybody, together in the facility and having that synergy and supporting each other, I just think that's going to be amazing.
Yeah, that is exactly what we're working on. And just the stuff we don't, just the stuff we think about tours, right? What does it look like for if someone comes in, understanding the nuances, for SAC, there's license requirements. So how do we handle tours? Who would be our concierge, so to speak? So all those are the stuff we're exploring within our subgroups now, to really look at programs and services where there's opportunities for synergy, and then how do we complement each other's services at certain times. And that's why we have the different subgroups. So that's helpful.
Okay.
Anything else? I'm sorry, I was checking to see if there's anyone else have any other
maybe
questions. I know
Kevin.
Christine, and I don't know, I can't see who else is on there.
Yeah,
If anyone
maybe
else
Kevin might
joined.
want to go ahead and finish the library services, and you can go ahead and finish that.
Sure. So as the slide there indicates, that's got lots of little specifics. We're going to have around a 30,000 physical item opening day collection in the building. So that's books, DVDs, kids books, adult books, whatever. Of course, anyone who gets a Fairfax County Library card will have access to all of our digital resources. In Lorton specifically, we're going to have Chromebooks for people to check out. We're going to have Wi-Fi. There's multiple rooms that people can access. We've got study rooms. We've got 2 conference rooms. We've got the meeting room, which is of course available after hours. And then all library events and programs go into a central calendar for the library, so that when people are looking for things to do, they can narrow it down to Lorton specifically and see everything that's coming. Or if they're looking countywide or region-wide, they can say, oh, I want to go to I'm looking for an English language practice group, right? And then if Lorton has one, it'll appear, people will know that they can go do it. While they're there coming to the library, they will learn about the other facilities on the campus and ideally engage with them as well. We're going to have local staff, so we're going to have an adult services librarian and a youth services librarian. They're responsible for programming efforts, usually driven by community interest and community need. So, of course, the classics like story times and book groups, and then, tech help or gardening or, whatever it is that the need presents itself. And then we also have on the administrative side, a programming team who do like targeted specific kind of program efforts. Oh, I'm getting feedback. There we go. Which, so like summer reading, stuff like that, like system-wide programs. There will be events and coordinated efforts at Lorton. And then in terms of what are we going to do together, on the topic of like synergy, working together, the staff of the library will ideally work with the rest of the staff to figure out, to make sure we're not doing things at the exact same time, right? Like part of that extra step of Lorton is going to be probably, weekly, maybe even more frequent conversations with the staff from the community center and the other subgroups to just like coordinate effort, make sure that we're doing the best things at the best time. Fortunately, there's a lot of flexibility, I think, on both sides of that equation, just to make sure that we're offering the citizens the best experience in the location.
Okay, thank you. Kevin mentioned something that I remembered is the facility, of course, has a Wi-Fi throughout the facility, but we're also having Wi-Fi availability out in the parking lot. So that's something that's a lot I wanted to point out. That would be interesting. It'll be good for the community. Okay, and that's it for the presentation. I don't know if there's any questions or comments. Dave, I don't know if you want to say something about the facility or any comments, but if he's there.
I'd be happy to take any questions, but we're just excited to have it open. So,
Yeah.
Coming soon.
Yes, exactly. Thanks. Great.
Can I add one more thing? I just want to say, as we look forward, one of the things we encourage folks, their ideas and suggestions. Right now, we have the senior center is open, and we encourage folks. Each of our entities have an advisory council, friends of group, and looking at. But there's ways to get engaged, and as part of the marketing and outreach team, we'll definitely be sharing information about ways to get engaged about the different programs and be more involved once the community center open and what that looks like. So I just wanted to share that as well, because one of the things we definitely want to do is look at when we're talking about equitable engagement, we want to hear from our voices. So being able to just solicit feedback, we're going to have opportunities for that as well as we get closer to the opening.
So Martha, we're talking about the grand opening in September, but will the library and the community center and services be open before that?
Well, we are anticipating that, but it would be probably at this point towards the end of August for the open to the public kind of thing. I imagine end of August, September timeframe at this point. It's difficult to really put our fingers on it depending on, we have substantial completion, we have commissioning, and of course the move-ins that will need to occur. We are cognizant of the LCAC and the need that they will need to move in ahead of time, obviously to complete phase 2 and to be able to service people as soon as possible. So we're working with, land development services, all the different reviewers to make sure that we get the proper permits. Karen's working hard on that, making sure the LCSD, we have the permits that they can move in, they can maybe start servicing. So again, we're trying to work out the details to get all that settled. But at this point for total opening, earlier than the end of August, I don't anticipate that.
And Christine, I know once you get to like the ribbon cutting, our communication coordinator, I think coordinator specialist, oh my gosh, Lauren Puckett, she is our communications team. She's going to work with Camilla, supervisor, your office and there's a timeline put together, a dossier and everything, which I just like saying the word, but that's what she does. So she'll be working with your team to come up with a timeline. I know they start like 2 to 3 months out in terms of the planning. So as we get closer, but she did confirm that that's the timeline, and she'll be working with your office to ensure that we look at the date, with the ribbon cutting and come up with a plan and create a dossier for that. So just wanted to share that as well.
Kevin, we've already started getting questions about the Friends of the Library and book donations and who should folks contact. Do you have any suggestions for that?
I don't know. I don't know if there's an active Lorton Friends group, and if there is, they would be the people who would receive donations. But until we have a total handle on the build out, I don't know what their space is going to look like or what their availability will be like to store.
Okay, and I see on here that we have Karen Corbett Sanders, our Mount Vernon District school board member, is with us.
Welcome.
Okay.
Did you have any questions for us? They're muted, but
Yeah, she's on mute.
yeah.
I just wanted to acknowledge that Karen is here with us.
Sure, that's great. Appreciate that.
Another question.
Thank you.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got a call coming in right. It's been one of those evenings. I started the evening at the hospital with unexpected octogenarian uncle. So, but I've been listening. I've been on the call. via telephone, and I have to say I am so impressed with all the progress you've made. It's just really exciting about the opportunities that are forthcoming at the combined center and library. It's very exciting, and look forward to the grand opening and schools working closely with you.
Mhm. We're definitely looking forward to it. Thank you.
Okay. Martin, do you have any questions from the South County, do you think?
Just when do you think like programming and all that will be accessed on the web, so the general public can kind of see, this fall, the various different programs that will be available?
So for NCS, we usually put our programs on, like our core programs. We'll have that information once we get closer to the date, but we also put our programs, we try to plan for 3 months out as well. So we do quarterly programming. So as we get closer to maybe like the summer, we'll probably summer, fall, we put that information out there. And again, it'll start with our core programs and just the stuff that we offer within our core programs, and use opportunities for engagement within the community as we continue to plan out activities. But we do plan 3 months in advance quarterly. And we'll definitely continue to update you.
And that will be through the NCS website, or will there be a dedicated website just for the community center?
So it'll be NCS website, and then we create a website just so right now we have the Lorton Senior Center website, but we create a website for the Lorton Community Center, and it'll be a dedicated website. Yes.
Great, thank you.
Well, is there anything that you all need, from the community perspective? I know people are really excited and looking forward to it. We spent some time over in Williamsburg Square, and over in the Hagel Circle community, and lots of folks over there were asking us when can they start coming over, when can they start volunteering, when can they start participating, and we keep telling them it's coming, but not yet.
Yeah. Well, it's we're working, and the contractor's doing a wonderful job. Everybody's working very well together. As you all know, a lot comes together in a facility like this. And so everyone's working very diligently to make sure it all happens as soon as possible.
We've had a really strong team working on this between the support from our using groups and our designers and our contractor. Everybody's really pushing to complete this, and everybody's excited about this project.
Yeah. Now the
I'll
no, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say the playground equipment is actually ready to be installed to its, but we've had to hold off because of the paving and the parking out there. We need some of the paving. The finished grades completed and the initial coating of the asphalt before all of that equipment can come in. They will bring the equipment, and it'll take several weeks to install. I don't remember exactly the time, at least 3 or 4 weeks if I remember. So that area of where the equipment's going to be will have to be fenced off until they can install the whole installation. And we wouldn't want kids playing on it until it's completely done and inspected. So I just wanted to point that out, that there will be a period of time that area will be cordoned off, so it would not be accessible. And if we hope that, make sure that the committee, we still have fencing up, and obviously for everyone's safety. Anyways, I just wanted to point that out. Their equipment's ready to be brought to the site. We're just waiting to coordinate with the contractor.
And And Christine, to your question about how the community can get engaged, I mentioned that we have the outreach and marketing group, and we have someone from Highlands and Gunston from Hagel, Highlands, Gunston on the team. We have someone from FCPS because we definitely want to ensure that we're connected with property managers. They're going to be coming up, part of their work is coming up with a strategy of engagement and what that looks like. So as we get closer, who else needs to be involved? How are we going to communicate with the schools? Like I said, so we'll definitely be looking at what strategies we're going to put out, who do we need to continue to, what stakeholders need to be involved, but they definitely have, nonprofits, people as part of that team to help make sure that that word gets out.
Great. Well, certainly appreciate all of you coming together tonight and giving this update. And Martha, if you could let us know when it's posted to the website, we'll share it out with the community as well, so folks can come take a look at it. Alex and I spent some time this morning at the Spring Hill Active Adult community, and they had a lot of questions. So I think I'm going to send them this link, and I know they're going to find a lot of helpful information out of out of everything tonight. So certainly appreciate all your time.
Okay, yeah, and thank everybody for being here. Yes. So yes, we'll let you know, and we'll work with Claudia to make sure it gets on, and to get it on the website. Okay.
Great.
Right.
That's it. Well, I want to thank everybody, and we'll be seeing we'll see each other again, I'm sure, pretty soon.
Yes.
Okay.
Good evening.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Catherine.